Rhodes-Vivour institution and his court have used to keep Lagos bound. There was no election in Lagos State. It was that potentially can lead to things that we have seen in other countries like the Rwandan genocide. Seeds of discord, seeds that othered our neighbors. They are not our neighbors or our visitors. People responsible for all the things I've listed. Weaponized poverty. We will never have free and fair elections. Instead, we'll have a suppress people as opposed to. We've seen it happen in presidential to a lesser extent, and we saw their entire vision for ethnic relations, years of intermarriage and friendships, years of commerce, and years of building Lagos into the economic juggernaut that it is. I call on the silent majority, the decent and cultural negotiators, to stand and support. And we cannot be silent. It is enough of the worst of us defining the rest of us. On Saturday, we saw the APC's vision for Lagos and for the thugs and poor victims, even as shielded as Ikoyi is, as shielded as VGC is. Everybody, Yoruba, Igbo, South, Northern, that wanted to vote Labour Party. So this is not, and this bureaucracy will affect us all, because the moment that we have thugs running affairs, we have thugs being enabled by the government, we have thugs carrying out state-backed terrorism, we have thugs that the police against the people of Lagos. Anybody, you, I, will eventually be victims of this thing. It will not discriminate whether it's Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo. It will not discriminate. Lawlessness will affect us all. And a society like Lagos was built on laws. We have the finest lawyers, the finest judges, the judiciary was birthed in Lagos State by a city of laws. And lawlessness has become the order of the day under the APC government. And we have seen their vision for Lagos. And we are going to fight it through all legal means, because now more than ever, Lagos is in desperate need for us to birth our Lagos. A Lagos that is accountable, a Lagos that is open, a Lagos where that is law-abiding, a Lagos that is holy themselves, regardless of who they want to vote for. A Lagos that will not be diabolically suppressed by evil people. A Lagos that will not be suppressed by violence. A Lagos that will not be suppressed by importing thugs from all over the southwest to come and enact violence against the same people that you want to govern. The good people, the cultured people, the decent people, indigenous of Lagos and Lagosians at large. We cannot be silent. We cannot leave this to the non-indigenous to stand up, all of us as. We must talk. We must show disgust and disdain for this type of governance. We must stand up proud and say, no, this is not what we stand for. This is not the government, not in our name. And we are going to go through all legal processes to ensure that we retrieve this mandate, the mandate of so many people that were hurt, mutilated, killed. And we're going to see it all the way through. But this call is to you, people of Lagos. This is not the time for silence. We need tribes in Nigeria and in Africa as a whole. In their coming together in a handshake across the Niger, Nigeria is unstoppable. Pandef, the Middle Belt, all this forward have tried so hard to bring us together. Do not allow the ambition of one man to destroy it. So I'm here to speak to you, to your hearts, to your minds. Please, this is not time for silence. Reach out to people. Reach out to our fellow Lagosians and Lagosians at large. And let us seek to stand against this oppression, because it is only in the presence of justice that healing can begin. God bless you, Lagos. We We are going to show our love by offsetting your bills, your hospital bills, because we stand by you, and we are proud.
Thank you very much.
So let me ask you this question. Those people who are injured and are still receiving treatment by those who you have alleged to be behind the attack.
We have videos, we have a plethora of video evidence. We know our polling unit, another young man that was a victim of a machete being cut across his entire face. We have the video of it, we have the pictures of it. We know for a fact that he was an agent at this particular polling unit. And the doctor said, why you are supporting this young man, please, agents all across Lagos State. So there is no doubt, there is no speculation, there is nothing. We know the damage and harm that came to our agents all across Lagos, right? So it is not in question.
How much confidence do you have in the judiciary to get a reprieve for all of this?
Of peace. And they know that the role that they are going to play is going to define the peace that we have in this country. And my family literally laid the foundations for judiciary in this country. So I have a lot of faith in the judiciary, and I believe that he's going to send for a tribunal hearing. And I appeal to him today, that because we are struggling for the soul, not just of Lagos at this point, but democracy. A situation where thugs and militants determine our leadership, and this is what is at stake right now. Our
new central. If you do go to court, but let's say you didn't get back the budget, what's next?
Obviously, we are strengthening this new movement. If you've been there all this time, and many people that vote based on their stomach, because we can have a job that can afford to say no to 1,000 naira, to 5,000 naira. Also part of this equation is more with the rural community, people that have been left behind. We are going to ensure that this movement is guarded in any potential political position that is going to come forward.
My name is Faith from Malawi. During the presidential election, now what has changed? And in democracy,
interviews that I had interviews on Arise TV. It shows that we had over 900,000 votes. A lot of suppression, but it was nothing compared to the. Please don't get me wrong. It is democracy that these people are trying to institute, and what you find, it only becomes deeper and deeper. It's like a cancer. They compromise it all through. So I'm not here for it. We are filing our case. That's not what the topic of conversation is. The topic of this day, because they're talking about it. They're writing articles. We must show that their government is without legitimacy. Planks and matches all the polling unit agents who war. Right? And that is what we are. A state came and it swallowed 600 million or 6,000, swept under the carpet. And we are just explaining that better in this day. Today, I can tell my children that, and that's why I'm calling this, pointing out the diabolical.
My question is,
I make my decisions out of hope. They are against INEC to make sure that they transmit that bans INEC from using Exulomo in any excel in their role, because they have faith and hope in the same judiciary that will do what is right. Not just, it's not about me, but Lagos, to preserve the nation, to fight this fight to preserve our deficit.
young people, to vie for this position. Lagos is too large. What do you think you can do? Because to actually take
Inabilities on other people. And I have done a lot. Shows that the majority of an empathy, they won't manage it. A governor that would do everything violence against them. Saw thugs beating the people that he wants to govern. When they were seeing all these thugs that were imported from outside, they wrote for them. They were dancing. None of them have come out to say anything. The way Nigeria and Lagos is going to move forward.
Considered to be enablers of ethnic strife.
Certainly, the first thing that we're doing now is a list of all the people. We know the people in Chase, and we are going to say nobody's going to get away with this one. Because it's war. It just means that, okay, if I want to go, they can do oral, they can shout, don't come, intimidate, push you. If you notice, there's a lot more keyboard video at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning. You are seeing parts of News had 20. But for those that are streaming live, I want to thank you for tuning in. And I call again on all. Now, continue your question. So they're dropping all of, they will think to themselves, if Sean Lee goes to go now. Thank you.
And Yoruba. So what can you say to, calm this?
Oceans are large. We are all together. We've done deals. When you look at the real estate industry, you look at any industry that showed discord because they felt insecure that they could not come. We cannot afford to allow them to succeed. Today, our party also gave a press conference talking about we must be smarter about this. Let us not let the selfish and thank you. All right. Yes.